The Tyne Bridge is a through-arch bridge over the River Tyne in northeast England, linking Newcastle upon Tyne and Gateshead. The bridge was designed by the engineering firm Mott, and Anderson, who later designed the Forth Road Bridge, and was built by Dorman Long and Co of Middlesbrough. The bridge was officially opened on October 10, 1928 by King George V and has since become a defining symbol of Tyneside. It is ranked as the 10th tallest structure in the city. History of construction. The earliest bridge across the Tyne, Pons Elias, was built by the Romans near the location of the present Tyne Bridge. Built around 122, it fell into disrepair. The next bridge built was one of stone in 1270. After 500 years, this was destroyed by the Great Flood of 1771. In 1781, a new stone bridge across the Tyne was completed. Increased shipping activity led to this stone bridge being removed in 1866 to make way for construction of the present swing bridge, which opened in 1876. The idea for a bridge at the location of the present Tyne Bridge dates to 1864, due to concern about the cost of tolls on the high-level bridge. The first serious discussions took place in 1883. Committees met over the next 3 decades, but it was not until the early 1920s that proposals were commenced in earnest, boosted by the chance to secure central government funding. On April 29, 1924, Newcastle and Gateshead approved the plans, and the Newcastle upon Tyne and Gateshead Bridge Act was passed on August 7 that year, with an estimated cost of £1 million including land acquisitions. The final cost on completion was £1.2 million. Work started in August 1925 with Dorman Long acting as the building contractors. Despite the dangers of the building work, only one worker, Nathaniel Collins, a father of 4 and a local scaffolder from South Shields, died in the building of this structure. The Tyne Bridge was designed by Mott, and Anderson, comparably to their Sydney Harbour Bridge version. Based on the design of the Hell Gate Bridge in New York City. The bridge was completed on February 25, 1928, and officially opened on October 10 by King George V and Queen Mary, who were the first to use the roadway, travelling in their Ascot landau. The opening ceremony was attended by 20,000 schoolchildren who had been given the day off. Movietone News recorded the speech given by the King. The Tyne Bridge's towers were built of Cornish granite and were designed by local architect Robert Burnstick as warehouses with 5 stories. But, the inner floors of the warehouses in the bridge's towers were not completed and, as a result, the storage areas were never used. Lifts for passengers and goods were built in the towers to provide access to the quayside. They are no longer in use. The bridge was originally painted green with special paint made by J. Dampney Company of Gateshead. The same colors were used to paint the bridge in 2000. The bridge spans 531 feet and the road deck is 84 feet above the river level. History of operations. Tram lines were built into the Tyne Bridge structure and ready for immediate use after the opening ceremony in October 1928. Tram car number 289 was the last Newcastle tram to run into Gateshead over the Tyne Bridge on Sunday 5 March 1950 at approximately 10:55 p.m. The tram lines were subsequently removed, although some vestiges of these remain such as redundant fixings for overhead power lines. Golden Jubilee celebrations were held on October 10, 1978, when 1,000 balloons were released into the sky above the river to celebrate the anniversary of the Tyne Bridge. To mark the occasion, a cavalcade of vintage vehicles and a procession of people in period dress stopped traffic, recreating the opening ceremony when King George V declared the bridge open in 1928. Upon opening, the bridge carried the A1 road. Following the opening of the Tyne Tunnel in 1967, however, the A1 was diverted to the east and the road became the A6127. Following the construction of the Newcastle Western Bypass, the A1 moved again. The bridge was redesignated as the A167, which it remains today. In 2012, the largest Olympic rings in the UK were erected on the bridge. The rings were manufactured by commercial signage specialist Signmaster ED Limited of Kelso. The rings were over 25 meters wide and 12 meters tall and weighed in excess of 4,000 kilograms. This was in preparation for Newcastle hosting the Olympic football tournament, and the Olympic torch relay, in which Bear Grylls zip-fired from the top of the arch, to Gateshead quayside. On June 28, 2012, a large lightning bolt struck the Tyne Bridge. It lit up the roads as the sky was very dark. The bolt, part of a supercell thunderstorm, came with heavy rain, a month's worth of rainfall in just 2 hours, causing flash flooding on Tyneside. In 2015, Newcastle upon Tyne will be a host city for the Rugby World Cup. 3 matches will be played at St James Park, the home of Newcastle United Football Club. In recognition of Newcastle being a host city, a large illuminated sign has been erected on Tyne Bridge. References. Further reading: Adiman, J. and Fawcett, B. The High Level Bridge and Newcastle Central Station, 150 Years Across the Tyne. By the North Eastern Railway Association for the High Level Bridge. 1999. ISBN 1-873513-28-3. Lindsley, S. Spanning the Tyne, Building of the Tyne Bridge, 1925-28. Newcastle Libraries and Information Service, Newcastle City Council 1998. ISBN 1-85795-009-7. Manders, F. and Potts, R. Crossing the Tyne. Tyne Bridge Publishing 2001. ISBN 1-85795-121-2. External links, databases, Bridges on the Tyne, Engineering Timelines, Tyne and Tyne Bridge at Structure, articles, BBC Inside Out, Tyne Bridge, map sources for Tyne Bridge. Images, historic photographs, Dorman Long Collection, pictures of Gateshead, aerial photographs, Britain from above, aerial views of the bridge under construction and later in the 1930s, from the Aerofilms Archive of English Heritage, panoramas, BBC, photographs of Tyne Bridges, Peter Loud, video, BBC, Nation on Film.